All right. We've all been in the position where we see a homeless person. Maybe they're sitting there asking for money, or maybe they're just simply trying to get through the day. And let's be honest, many of our first reactions are to avoid eye contact, move to the other side of the street, or even roll our car window up as they ask for money beside us. We've all had the thought that if we give them our money, what are they going to do with it? Do they truly need it? And do they have good intentions? And while not all of them do have good intentions, many of them do. And while we've all heard it before, this project really showed me the importance of not judging a book by its cover. And with 1,450 people in New Hampshire homeless, it's not a group that we can simply judge without truly getting to know. Hi, my name is Julia Hiddle, for those of you who don't know me. And for the past couple months, I've been volunteering my time at the Friendly Kitchen, meeting and interacting with all those who eat there. When I started this journey, I was unsure about how I would feel towards those there, as all I truly had known before were the misconceptions about the homeless population. But once all the misconceptions I'd known were proven wrong by multiple people at multiple times at the kitchen, I found myself making friends with those there and learning more and more about their lives. One of the most common misconceptions about the homeless population is that there's no true reason for them to be homeless and they should simply just get a job. While working at the kitchen, I learned that this couldn't be further from the truth. If you or I wanted a job, we'd simply go to our place of work, get an application, fill it out, and wait to hear back. But while experiencing homelessness, it's much harder to find a job than one would expect. First off, they're lacking permanent address, and usually also a phone, so they're unable to be contacted. They don't have regular access to showers, which many places wouldn't hire you if you didn't. And they also have many other issues like mental illness. This misconception is also extremely unfair because many people at the Friendly Kitchen do have jobs and regularly ask to use our phones to contact their managers to give them their schedules for the following week. Even though they have a job, it doesn't mean that they have the money for permanent housing, as there are a lot of cheap options in New Hampshire, and the cheapest options that there are already taken. So even when those who are struggling with homelessness get a job, it doesn't often help them with housing, as they often receive part-time or minimum wage positions, meaning they can't afford the expensive housing costs New Hampshire has. Another common misconception about the homeless population is that it's always the homeless person's fault they're in the position that they're in. After working at the Friendly Kitchen, I found out that this is not the case, as most of the time they have struggles with mental illness and it's nearly impossible for them to maintain or even receive a job in the first place. There's one lady that I met at the Friendly Kitchen who comes in every day who struggles with depression. One day she came in when it was pouring outside, and everybody was struggling that day, but especially her. She talked with her friend about how she was struggling not only with her homelessness, with depression too. And when you're homeless, you don't have money, obviously, so there was no way for her to get any help. There are also two people who come to the kitchen, Allie and Alan, who both struggle with schizophrenia and with the cost of their medication. They're often on it for a little bit and not on it for a little bit, and it's very obvious and you can tell when they are on it or not. There are also many children that come to the Friendly Kitchen, like the 4 children that come that live with their mother in their car year-round, which we can all agree is not the children's fault. And often this becomes a cycle as they can't afford college and repeat their parents' actions. One of the worst misconceptions is that the homeless people aren't smart, decent, and kind people, which couldn't be further from the truth. There are so many people at the Friendly Kitchen that show their kindness every day, and I could give you numerous examples of that kindness. One day when I was at the kitchen, I was about to close, which meant I was cleaning up, and everyone was leaving, saying their goodbyes, but a man came up to me and introduced himself. His name was Tim, and he proceeded to help me clean up without even being asked. Another day I was talking to a man named Rick, who talked to me about how being a good person on the inside is more important than the superficial things in life. Because the more people that are beautiful on the inside, the more beautiful the world would be. I saw this trait in him as he offered up what little he had, his living room floor, to people at the Friendly Kitchen to sleep on a rainy day. There are also many veterans that come to the Friendly Kitchen. There are many at the Friendly Kitchen that also show how smart they are. There's one man who comes in named Omar, and he's an LNA and worked very hard to be one. There's also a man named Dave, who's currently working in construction, but has decided to go back to college and has even started to go to secondary start as he realizes that construction can't be his future because he won't be able to do that as he ages. The last misconception I'll be talking about today is the thought that they are beyond help and they won't ever find a way to get out of the situation they're in. While some of the people at the Friendly Kitchen are still struggling with homelessness, I've also seen many people grow and find a way to make themselves and their lives better. There's one man that used to come to the Friendly Kitchen who was struggling with homelessness for a very long time. But as he worked and worked, he was able to work his way out of the position he was in, go to school, and even find permanent housing. He's currently attending NHTI and is going on many trips with the school, and it's all based on merit-based scholarships. There's also a man that used to come to the Friendly Kitchen and struggle with his homelessness for about a year of his life. But now he's actually a volunteer at the Friendly Kitchen and has been for about 5 years. While he was talking to me, he explained that he's so glad that he was able to get out of the situation he was in and wants to help others do the same. So, while many judge the homeless, it's important to remember that every person has a story, and you cannot simply judge a book by its cover. So, maybe the next time you see a homeless person, give them the benefit of the doubt, and don't just write them off due to the misconceptions you and I know. Thank you.